Hi guys, welcome to Trident classes. Let us solve a data interpretation and logical reasoning set with me. Okay. If you want to pause the video and try it out on your own, you are welcome. If you are just starting your preparation and you are looking for a one-on-one coach, mentor for CAT, you can get in touch with me with this link that is popping in your screen. Take a screenshot of it, scan the QR and get to my messenger. We can have a discussion. These are very interesting sets. They're neither very difficult nor very easy. So this can lay a foundation to you. Also for somebody who is at a good level of his preparation right now, should be able to solve these kind of set in less than 10 minutes. Okay, let's read the set. Four friends ABCD play a game that involves money. I have already started to like this one. They started with different amounts and at the end of the 4 rounds, they end up with 1024. The result of each round are given below. Okay, let's read ahead. It says, in each round, the amount with the person who is rank 1 become 4 times its value. Amount with the person who is rank 2 becomes twice its value. Amount with the person who is rank 3 remains the same. And the person who is rank 4 loses the amount that were gained by 1 and 3. So that means you get the hang of it, right? Even if this parenthesis statement is not given, which is effectively explaining you the same thing, the sum total of the amount with the 4 of them remains constant in each round. That means after every round, the amount in that round has to be a constant, and that constant is 4096. 1024 ka 4 times. Let's read the questions. Who had the least amount before the game started? At the end of which rounds he have the least amount? What is the maximum amount that anybody can have in the 4 rounds? Who had the least amount at the end of round 3? So at the end of round 3, okay, so it only makes sense that you start understanding it in the backward direction. At the 4th round, everybody has 1024. Third round, at the end of the 3rd round, somebody would be the first person. So whoever is the first person would have, the amount with him will be 4 times of it. Whoever is the second person, half of the amount that he has, and so on and so forth. So for that, we have to, tabulate this data. So let's do that. Let's take a screenshot of this data and make the table that is necessary now. Okay. So now let us try to interpret this data, because other than this, we don't really need to do anything else. What I'm asking you to understand is that for the 4 friends A, B, C, and D, let us make the I'm saying this is the end of rounds and I'm going backward. So at the end of the 4th round, 3rd round, 2nd round, 1st round, and definitely, obviously, they would have started with something, some amount of money. So the starting also I need to put in there. Okay. Now, let's just get rid of the webcam feed rather. Understand this very clearly. The amount that I have at the end of the 1st round is 1024 for all of them. And now the puzzle starts. We are talking about the end of the 3rd round. That end of the 3rd round is the ranking that I am getting at the round 4 ka beginning mein. ठीक है? So what you need to do is, this is where the set was a little challenging for you to understand. So at the end of 3rd round, D is ranked 1. So D is ranked 1. This is D over there. Okay. So if D is ranked 1 at the end of let's say round 3, so whatever amount of money he has over there, that must have multiplied into 4 times, and that would have gotten him the 1024, because D is the first person. Okay. So in the end of the 3rd round, whatever money, I'm again repeating myself, whatever money, X money he had, that money would have multiplied by 1024. Similarly for C, this person, whatever the money was got multiplied by twice, and that is the amount that got in over there. B remained as it is. That means B is at 1024. So I can straight away just put in 1024 over there. Okay. So this becomes a 512 and this becomes a 256. 256 ka 4 times will become this. Now what about A? Remember that whatever amount of money A loses is what is gained by C and D. Okay, so whatever the amount of money A loses, or you can also think of it in terms of 4096 minus of 1024 plus 512 plus 256, because remember this number is constant and this now acts like a Sudoku. So 4096 minus 1024, 512, 256. The number comes out as 2304. This is end of my round 3. We are looking at end of round 2. End of round 2 is basically this data that we need to figure out. Now C is ranked 1. C is ranked 1. That means whatever the amount was over there got multiplied 4 times, became 4 times of it, and then so this will be 128, right? Now let's look at second position, that is B. Second position is definitely 512. What about the third person? The third person is A. Third person is A, that remains as it is. That means 2034, whatever his ranking was in the subsequent round is same, that is 2034, and whatever is the balance is over here. So you can do your calculations quickly. 4096 minus 2304, 512 and 128 will now give you 1152. Okay, let's look into the first round now. At the end of the first round is the starting of this. We will be looking at this data now, this data. So B is number 1. That means whatever 512 is, whatever this data was, that got multiplied 4 times, right? So that will become 128 now. Who is second? A is second. So half of that, 1152. Okay. And A remains constant. So A remains constant. Sorry, D remains constant. D remains constant at 1152, and we are looking at this one. Fourth one is C. Fourth one is C. So whatever is the balance, we need to find that out. Okay. So that is 4096 minus 1152 minus 1152 minus 128. That is 1664. This is a little calculation intensive set. Now the first round, at the end of the first round is where the amount of money they started with. So who is ranked 1? A is ranked 1. That means whatever the amount of money again became 4 times of it. Okay. So just divide 1152 by 4. You will get a 288. C is position number 2. That is half of this. Okay. Sorry, D is position 2. D is position 2. So half of 1152 is 576. Then C is position 3. That means it remains as it is, 1664. And whatever the balance is, we find that out over there. That is 4096 minus the other 3. So that is 1568. This calculation was something that you needed to do. Otherwise, it would have become very difficult. Okay. Give me a second. So we needed to have this calculation handy. It might have taken you some time, but if you would have done this calculation very prudently and fast, your answers would not be far behind, right? Let's look into the first question. It says, who had the least amount before the game started? Who had the least amount? I think that is A. A had the least amount before the game started. At the end, let's look into question number 2. It says, at the end of which round C have the least amount among all 4. Okay. So we need to find at the end of which C has least amount among the four. C has the least in the second round, right? Because other than that, in all the rounds, this is definitely out. D is least, so this is also out. C is not least over here and definitely not over. So at the end of round 2, you have the least amount with C. What is the maximum amount that anyone had in the any of the 4 rounds? The maximum amount you can see has not exceeded 2034. So that has to be my answer. Who had the least amount at the end of round 3? So we are specifically looking at round 3 and the least amount is with D. Okay, that is 256. So this was a very doable question only when you know how to interpret the data, how to tabulate the data, how to make sense of the data, what are the trigger points that you needed to look at while solving this set. Again, this is not very difficult, but for somebody who is maybe starting out, might find it little moderate level. Okay, thank you.